Sorry, guys. Somebody pulled up, next to me. I don't be like when people are right up next to me. Anyway, she might even know or whatever, but she's playing herself if she actually believes him, right? Because deep down inside, a woman usually can tell when a man is very into you or really in love with you. I mean, don't tell me you don't know. I mean, I guess there are some women who are a little bit naive, but after one or two relationships, you kind of can tell. You know when a man is into you. He is going to call and check on you. He is going to be there for you, show up for you. He is going to be interested in your emotional state. Any real man who actually wants to actually be in a real relationship or even cares. I mean, just think about it. Even how he treats his mother. If he's like, calling his own mother to see how she's doing, or his sister, and he knows how to care for that relationship or whatever, at a bare minimum, he'll know how to do at least the same, if not and more, for you, right? So if he's not doing that, then her spidey senses are going to go off like, I don't think he's really into me. I think he might be lying, right? And the thing about that is that when two people are lying in a relationship, it fails everybody. In the end, no matter what, it fails everybody. It doesn't ever work out. I'm going to give you another example. I met a person who, this was many years ago, like many years ago. This is, I think, even before I got remarried. He was a very good looking man. And we talked for a little minute, but once I discovered that, he had a baby on the way. Now, we were not actually in a full-blown relationship by any means. And I certainly, I don't go to bed like that. So there was no attachment there on my end. There was no attachment. He perceived me to be everything he wanted in a woman. I mean, he said that to me flat out, right? And I could, there was definitely an attraction there. I mean, I was kind of still very much hurt over my husband dying and everything, right? But when he finally came around, and I say finally, I would say it was, this was just a more of a, getting to know each other in about maybe 2 months or so. But I had asked him several times things like, see, I'm a woman, right? So I know a man is going to be a man, right? And I know he's going to take care of his business one way or the other, right? It's either going to be by himself, okay? Or it's going to be with another woman, right? Like, because men are built different, right? So, eventually, when he said, well, he got somebody pregnant, okay? And this was somebody that he didn't even really love. He was just trying to take care of his business, basically. I mean, now, this is what he tells me. Who knows what he actually told the other person? Who knows? I don't know, right? But, like, the fact of the matter is that this is what he's telling me. And they never got married or anything, and I don't really know what. I did see him a few times. I mean, he has talked to me a few times because he's bought stuff for me or whatever, but there was never no real relationship or any future that was really pursued between the two of them as far as long-term or whatever. But the fact of the matter is he had a baby on the way, and I was like, okay, well, we're done, because I'm not about to sit here and be in a relationship with a man who has to go to the hospital or take care of another woman who is pregnant with his child. Because if she's pregnant, no matter what kind of relationship y'all actually have or whatever, she's going to expect you to take care of her. She's going to expect you to take her to the doctor or, go get things when she's throwing up or she needs ginger ale or whatever, right? Whatever the case, who knows? I mean, these days women die sometimes from giving birth or whatever, right? So, I mean, you done knocked her up, okay? And but you're telling me you don't really love her, or they were in a, he didn't really love her. They were in an on and off, and I guess they both cheated on each other or whatever. I don't know. Whatever the case was, but by the time he told me that, I was like, I'm out. I don't care how good looking you are. I don't care how cute you are. I don't care how much you've dated women like me who are in my same faith, okay? Who you just love, Christian women or whatever, okay? To me, I'm like, yeah, I gotta go. And it's not so much that means it was that me and him were not compatible, or that I didn't want to be with him, or that I didn't think that we had a potential. But what I knew was that he was not going to be able to give me full attention. And I don't mean like if you have kids. Everybody knows, like, if there's any kids involved or whatever, kids get first attention. I'm not talking about kids that are already here, that are already a little bit older or whatever, right? But you got a new one on the way who absolutely is going to take everybody's attention, right? Because newborns are like that. And then, so after all of that or whatever, years went by or whatever, and then he tells me, so I didn't pursue anything with him or whatever, and then I moved on. But then he proceeds to tell me that, yeah, oh, by the way, that woman who was pregnant with his child, it turned out that she was, that it was not his kid. That it wasn't even his kid. But you know why he couldn't prove that it wasn't his kid? Because he did the deed. Because he was out there, with her. So he really couldn't prove it. But even though he was doing that with her or whatever, he was still out checking out other options, going shopping for other women. Okay, and this is how men get themselves wrapped up in situations. They'll get wrapped up. And according to him, this is what he tells me every time he sees me, is that he feels like he missed out on a good thing. Like he feels like I was the one that got away. You know how many men have told me that? You know how many men feel that way about me? You know how many men have said, oh, you're the one that got away. Oh, I should have did this. Oh, I should have did that. I should have, would have, could have. Oh, this, that, and the other. Again, it's like you have to come correct. You have to come correct with some women, certain women. Now, not all women are going to command you to come correct. Not all women are going to kind of like, are worth, or even know themselves enough to be able to vocalize and express, like, what does coming correct really mean? What they really want, what they really desire in a relationship, what they want in a relationship, what they desire or what they need. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, you might miss out on a good thing because you out there playing the field, going, whatever. And it just doesn't work out. It's like, it's just not meant to be. It's just not meant to be. What can I say? You know what I'm saying? So if it was meant to be, God would have made sure that, the situations or whatever would have lined up. Or, everybody does have free will, but, you might be praying to God that you want a good woman, or you were looking for a good woman. And then when you get one, or when one walks right in your path or whatever, you fumble it up. You screw the whole thing up, and it's called self-sabotage. It's called self-sabotaging. Because when a man is not clear about what they want, they don't even know, or they're not putting themselves in a position to actually be a good wife or a good husband. Like, it's like they haven't even thought about what does it mean to be a good husband, or can they even commit, right? And so they, in the meantime, between time, they've gotten themselves in all this kind of situations. And now, to be honest with you, God might be saying, like, you need to fix all these situations before you even think about messing with that one over there. Because that one over there is a good woman. She is already been through too much. She is not the one for you to mess around with. She is not going to be, somebody that you should be playing around with her heart. And if you do, then you're going to have to answer to God for that, okay? And mainly for how you treat her emotionally. A woman's emotional support and emotional needs are more important than her physical needs. Honestly, every woman will tell you that. I can't even tell you a woman who doesn't. Like, seriously, when I say I would rather be on the side of the road with my man or sleeping in a car or whatever, but he is caring for me emotionally, meaning not that he's lazy, like not saying I want some lazy man or whatever, but hey, things happen. And I can tell you from personal experience, as far as like in my family and things that we've gone through, we don't value money, right? I would much rather be in a man's car, living in the car or whatever, as we're getting our life together, but he emotionally cares for me and is looking out for me, than to be in a big old house that's 3 stories, that has, 6,000 square foot, 5 cars in the driveway, and we're living on 2 opposite sides of the house. And we're not even talking to each other. We don't even want to sleep in the same bed together. Or whenever he does want to sleep with me, it's when he just needs to take care of his business. I don't know. My grandmother called that when a man is using the toilet on her. Oh, that's terrible. No, that is really bad. That's bad. That's emotional abuse. That is emotional abuse. And that is a man who is either not understanding his true power in the relationship, or a man that is abusing his power emotionally, right? So either you do know and you're abusing it anyway for the sake of having things your way, right? Or trying to control the situation, or trying to have your cake and eat it too, right? It's not acceptable. It will not be acceptable for a lot of women. For a lot of women, especially a woman of any caliber, and a woman of God, and a woman who has any self-pride about herself, right? It's just not going to be acceptable, okay? Emotional IQ and emotional awareness and emotional responsibility, like actually, caring for that woman emotionally. Let me see what else I had on my list. There is a difference. So emotional safety, physical safety, financial safety, spiritual safety, those are all different things. So what does spiritual safety mean? If you are a man and you are spiritual, or you love God and you are a Christian or whatever, let me tell you what a woman appreciates. She appreciates when you pray with her, okay? When you take her hand and you pray with her. It doesn't have to be long, drawn-out prayers, but just simple prayers, like praying over your food, praying for her safety, praying for her. A man that prays for his woman, I mean, every woman wants that. I don't care if you're a Christian or not. It just means you care. It just means that you actually care. I know that I have prayed about every man that I've ever been in a relationship with. I have prayed about him, for him, and over him. And I have some that I'm still praying for, just because I care about him. Okay? A woman wants at least that back. Reading the Bible together. You might want to read just, 3 or 4 or 5 verses together. You don't have to have a whole sermon. You don't even have to be a preacher. You could just be like, let's just, read a few verses. That's spiritual safety, or taking the lead spiritually. Praying scriptures. Simple things. It does not even mean that you have to take her to church. Now, if you guys met in church, or you guys met in your synagogue or your congregation or your Bible study group or whatever, she's obviously going to want to show up there with you. Okay? But every relationship is a little bit different, but a woman appreciates that. A woman absolutely appreciates that, for sure. You praying for her and looking out for her. And financial safety. Financial safety is like, you know what? Again, that's going to look different for every woman. But I would at least say most women don't want you to at least come into the relationship and wreck her credit, right? Or, make her feel bad even for the decisions that she might make. Okay? Or let's say add to her baggage. Maybe she already has baggage and she doesn't need someone who's going to add to the baggage and make it worse, right? So at least carry your weight at a bare minimum. Carry your end of the bargain, or your end of the weight, right? That's... Now, anything else when it comes to that is going to be different for every woman with what they're looking for. Some women do place more importance on financial stability and financial success and financial abilities and financial gains and all of those things. And to each his own. It's really to each his own. I'm not here to judge any woman. Whatever they want in a relationship is whatever they want, right? I have found that the men that I have been with, or, tried to whatever, the more financial status they had, the more they tried to control me. So, or at least I felt controlled. Maybe that doesn't feel like control to other women. So I just decided, hey, I'd rather take care of my own self financially, or for the most part, for the most part, or whatever. I am not against a man helping, or a man who wants to provide or whatever, in whatever way he says he wants to, but if he tries to use it as a way to control me, it's a wrap. Or if he tries to use it as a way to demean me in any way, or anything, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that. I am not going down that road again. I will not revisit that situation again, because I know what is best for me, right? Because I know. I've already been through some experiences to tell me what it is, right? But these are things that I feel are pretty basic for most women. Loyalty, and if for some reason a man feels like he cannot stay loyal, like he just feels like he really just cannot stay in this relationship or whatever, or can't keep his business with one woman or whatever, then he needs to ask himself, why does he feel that way? Why does he feel that way? Is it because he's not attracted to that woman? And if he's not attracted to that woman, he should say that. He should, it hurts. The truth hurts, but the truth will set you free, right? Because at least when you decide to dissolve things, or if you decide to dissolve things, whatever, she will know it's because of XYZ, right? She won't be blindsided by you leaving her unread, or by you starting a whole family with somebody else, or something crazy like that. And that's the thing that I think I touched on before in one of my other videos, about allowing people to leave, bless them on out of your life. Bless them out. Let people leave you in love, right? This is how you don't create karma, is that you don't leave people unread. You don't leave people, wondering what's going on or where are you at or whatever. You don't, say one thing and do another to a woman, or have a whole secret family somewhere else, or have a whole situation somewhere else or something like that, or say one thing and just do another in general, or, whatever. Those types of things create baggage and karma and bad energy, right? Because let me tell you what usually happens. Usually what happens when a man has done something of a, to hurt a woman, especially a good woman, especially a woman of God, especially a woman who God finds to be special, or let's just say, this woman talks to God every day or whatever. What usually happens is whatever energy you brought to the relationship is what will happen back to you, right? To that man. It's called karma, or you reap what you sow. But I have literally, seen this so many times over and over again. A man is a cheater and he stepped out on his girl 50 million times or whatever. She allowed it for whatever reason. She doesn't have self-esteem to actually walk away from that man or whatever. And she allows it, and then he decides to act right or whatever. And he's like, oh, I'm going to act right now. I want to be with you, because for whatever reason, he decided to stop playing the field. He decides he's going to act right with her. And by the time he acts right, she's already been cheating on him with somebody else, because you know why? He put that energy into that relationship in the first place. This is how he set it up. Now, the only way that doesn't happen, in all sincerity, right? The only way that doesn't happen, because this happens all the time, because I hear women, I have friends, I literally have had these conversations with women. They call it revenge sex. A woman will literally go out and have sex with another man just to get revenge with her man that did it to her, right? I've never done that. Never done that. You know why? Because I knew God. First of all, God would not let me do it. I would not do it. That's bad. First of all, that's wrong. You don't have revenge sex. And I have definitely expressed this to other women who have shared, who have this feeling. But it's not okay. It's not okay to dish out the same thing, right? Because Jehovah God says that vengeance belongs to him, right? And in turn, you might go out and have revenge sex and you catch something, or it ended up being like it turned back on you, it backfired on you or whatever, right? Like, it's just wrong on so many levels. But a lot of women don't see it that way. You know why? A, they have a different moral system. They have a different value system. And B, they may not be a healed version of themselves yet. They may not have gone through enough trials and tribulations and self-shadow work, self-reflection to show up to relationships and situations in a healed manner, in a mature, healed manner, where they're not going to seek revenge. They might seek clarity. They'll seek clarity, right? But they won't seek revenge. Okay, and that's the type of woman that I am, I might seek clarity, but I will not seek revenge. No, because that could just literally be hurting me. Plus, I would be hurting my God. He doesn't want us out here just mixing with people. He doesn't want out here just, mixing spirits and energies and fluids with people. No, no. God did not intend that. But now, I know in Bible times, people would say, oh, in Bible times, men had many women, or, whatever, they had concubines and this, that, and the other. That's true. That is true. Back then, the earth needed to be populated more. And, again, when everything is in the up and up, and every woman that is in that tent or in that village or whatever knows that they're all sharing that one man over there, and they only get to have him once a month or whatever, they're obviously prepared mentally, emotionally, physically to only have intercourse or whatever once a month or whatever. Everybody's in the up and up, and everybody agrees, and hey, so be it. Those people out there who have those type of relationships with several wives or whatever, and everybody's in agreement, kumbaya, and more power to you, right? Because the point is that everybody knows and everybody's on the same page, and everybody is walking the same walk, talking the same talk, and it's okay. But for the men who are either desiring one woman, right, or you're in a relationship with somebody, it's best to care for her emotionally, and to make sure you place the most emphasis on her emotional care. Because because caring for her heart, making sure she's not hurt, making sure she doesn't get hurt by you or whatever, like most women would actually place the highest, the most importance on that one fact right there, more than anything else. It's like, I look at my parents. They were a very good example. And they were emotionally connected. And when my dad went through sickness and hard times, my mother stayed right by his side. And she used to always say to me, yeah, they had hard times. And yeah, it was rough, right? But she used to always say, we make love in other ways. You can make love in your eyes, the way you look at each other, right? There's intimacy in other ways. But when you're emotionally attached to somebody, right? And that's where their heart is or whatever, that is, that's the person that you should be nurturing and caring for and making sure that she knows it. She should not wonder how you feel. She should not wonder if you were in love with her, or if you still love her, or if you are even attracted to her, or if you are gonna, protect her heart, fight for her, look out for her, and just make sure she's not getting taken advantage of, right? These are things that I don't know if men just, maybe they don't come by naturally, or they don't think of, or whatever. But, I have seen men and known men literally who, and I mean, I've talked to men, and I talk to them, I'm not saying every day, but I have a guy friend right now who's literally just a friend. He buys stuff for me all the time or whatever. And, when I was sending him a bundle one day, and he was like, yeah, I gotta hurry up and go. I gotta get to the courthouse. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, I gotta go get married. And he was on his lunch break. He was on his lunch break. And the way he said it was like, yeah, let me just hurry up and do this thing. And I was like, I said, does she have flowers? He was like, she don't need any of that. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, are you gonna go? I'm like, are you gonna get dressed? Or he's like, no. He was in his uniform. He was in his uniform and was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna hurry up and do this. And he was like, yeah, well, she has my kids. I'm like, you're entering into a union and you're not even excited about it, and you're on your lunch break, and you don't even think she deserves a bouquet of flowers? Because, by the way, I make flowers and I make bouquets, right? Because I was going to just give him one to give to her as a gift, And he was like, yeah, no, she doesn't need that. No. I was like, well, do you guys have rings? He was like, no. No ring, no flowers, no nothing. He's like, she wants the piece of paper. She wants it. Because they had 2 kids together. That's not a man who's going to be looking out for her heart just based on the way things went down. He obviously felt pressured or pushed into or whatever, trapped or something, and felt like he needed to do that. But he is not feeling loyal to her. He's not absolutely not feeling loyal to her. I know he's not, by the way he even talks to me. Okay. And I'm like, no. Okay. I can't, that's not a relationship style that I wish to entertain. And I wouldn't accept that. Like, I can't accept that. I can't, because I'm way too emotionally involved, right? So it's like, I don't know if men are just not thinking, or why they choose to push stuff under the rug, or stick their head in the sand, or just not deal with, the elephant in the room, or just not actually express themselves to the person that they might have gotten knocked up or whatever. You know what? But what I do know for a fact is, when you live in your truth, and when you're honest, and you actually live in your truth, and you actually express your real needs, your real desires. I can tell you, for me, this chick right here, if I had a man who said to me, like if Travis said to me, oh, I'm only marrying you, or I'm only getting married to you. Well, we didn't have kids, but anyway, because we have kids together, but I really love somebody else, or I'm over here. Then I would proceed to ask him, what does he want to do from this point on? Does he want to go over there? Or does he want to stay? Because if he stays over here, we're going to have to work on this. And I need to know whatever it is that I can do to change and be a better person, or whatever, to fix the relationship. And if he says, really, there's nothing, because I just don't want you, or I don't like you, I don't want to be with you, or you just don't do it for me or whatever, then I would not want to stay in a relationship, marriage or not. I would not want to stay in a relationship where this man is not emotionally attached to me, that he's emotionally attached somewhere else, or he's thinking about somebody else, or he wishes to be somewhere else. Like, for me, that's like a death trap or death sentence, or that is like, no, I just wouldn't do it. I would literally, me personally, I would just leave. I would just be like, go. I'm not going to stay. But if for some reason I felt like I had to stay, I would feel trapped. I would feel trapped, personally. Right? And I don't, I wouldn't feel trapped. That's just the thing about me. But I just know that that would make me feel trapped. Right? If I felt like there was no emotional attachment. And when a man is not emotionally attached to you because he doesn't really desire you, or he's not trying to get at you, or he is not over here wanting you home, or wanting you to hold his hand, or wanting you to touch him, or whatever. You can see in a man's eyes the desire that they have for you, that they want you, right? And if I can't detect that, if I don't detect that, and I feel like he's glassed over, he's over here looking at, or every time we go out, his eyes are shifting over here, there, and everywhere, that's a no, baby. That's a no all day for me. I don't care how many kids I have with that man. I don't care if we own 12 houses, 15 houses together. I don't care if we own a business together. I do not care. It might take time to get all that stuff separated and, divided up or whatever. But from that point on, my energy is gone. I can tell you that right now. I'm out. I'm out the door. Because I'm not going to waste time. I know why I enter into relationships, me personally, and I say most women would enter into relationships for the purpose of love. To love each other, to show each other true love, to be loving, to experience love. Okay? Now, some women enter into relationships for other reasons, like, money. Maybe they want to get something from that man. Okay? But not all women are that way. And I would say probably the majority of women are not that way. You might see that a lot, or you might have ran into that a lot, but most women really want true love. They want to feel loved. They want to be loved. They want to express love, and they want to hear it back from their man. Even if he's not very talkative or whatever, they want to be able to sense that they are in love with them. Okay? I do hear of women who don't care about love as much sometimes, and they do try to trap men with children, or try to force a man. And again, I think that you're playing each other. You're both getting played, because you can't trap any man, and you cannot keep any man. You can't hold any man or really trap any man. He might be trapped financially with you, or you might get to see his face every day because he wants to come home and see his children. But that man is more happier to see his children than he is to see you, or whatever. And you are experiencing, like you're still emotionally feeling a lack or whatever, but you think, oh, well, I got him because, I got all 15 kids of his or whatever. You're fooling yourself. I mean, you're literally just playing yourself, because you might actually have somebody who actually wants you or likes your crazy, like I'm crazy. There might be a man out there who is literally just looking at you while seeing you go through some stupidity with the one you're with, and he's thinking, I wish I could have her. She's beautiful, or she's just what I would want, or whatever, right? But you're playing yourself because you're trying to, quote unquote, trap a man with his kids or whatever. Meanwhile, your real soulmate is passing you by, okay? Because he can't have you, because you're over here stuck in your head over here with a man who doesn't want to be with you, right? Let me tell you something. I hear all kinds of things all the time, because I know so many people, because I am, when you do makeup and stuff, or you do hair, or you go to the barber or whatever, if you are the person who's providing the service, you get to hear about a lot of drama and stuff, okay? All kinds of stuff. And I see it all the time. And I'm just like, no, I refuse to be in a relationship with somebody for external needs, for external reasons, not me. Now, I know there are very, very extreme cases. Like, I did know somebody who was married to a woman, and she became invalid, disabled, like from the neck down. And while she was absolutely okay with him taking care of his business with her, obviously it wasn't the same pleasure. So therefore, she told him that it was okay for him to enjoy himself elsewhere. Because the fact was, the insurance for her disability and issues and everything was with him, and as long as they stayed married. So he was absolutely not going to divorce this woman, right? But just by pure physicality of the situation, he was desiring another woman, like another physical person, right? So, but those are very extreme cases, you know what I mean? Like, you very rarely see that kind of thing. And then I know some relationships do have open relationships. They are open. But a lot of times what I see with that, and I have seen this too, where they're like, oh, we have an open relationship. We explore other people. You know what? It's all cool to explore other people until one person falls in love with somebody. Until one person actually falls all the way head over heels for another person. And they might have opened up the door to that and be like, here you go. We're going to explore other people. And next thing you know, him or her falls in love head over heels for somebody else. And it's like the real deal. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh no, you can't do that, or whatever. See, it's really crazy the kind of karma and kind of things that people just allow, right? So you got to get real clear. You got to get real clear with your God. You got to get real clear with yourself, what you really want. And then you got to get vocal about it. You got to be very vocal, right? So you don't stay longer in situations that you shouldn't be in. Or so you don't have to, experience craziness, right? Or bad things, or feeling like, you have to now make up for XYZ that you might have done to somebody or whatever, right? For hurt feelings or whatever. Anyway, just more food for thought that I wanted to share. And I'm going to keep these videos coming. So if you like real talk from a real woman, okay, then go ahead and subscribe to my page, because I'm going to continue to speak my mind on different subjects as I see fit and as I feel like I want to, especially when I talk to different clients and people, who are going through different things and stuff. And it's kind of like, let's get some of this stuff aired out. Let's just talk about it. Okay. And actually think about these things. Right. So there you go. That's it for this one. Bye.